The royal guards are often considered the epitome of discipline, strength, and stoicism. These soldiers, tasked with guarding the royal families of various monarchies around the world, are not only trained to protect but also to remain impassive in the face of distractions, provocations, and even potential threats. But despite their unyielding professionalism, some people just can't resist testing their patience, often with disastrous results. If you've ever visited Buckingham Palace in London, the Royal Palace in Madrid, or the many other palaces where these guards stand their watch, you've likely seen tourists trying to get a reaction, either through outrageous behavior or curious antics. Yet, what most fail to realize is that these guards are more than capable of responding when provoked, often in ways that leave those who test them with unforgettable memories. So, here are 15 people who messed with the Royal Guard and regretted it, from cheeky tourists to reckless individuals who learned the hard way that messing with royalty's finest is never a good idea. 1. The British tourist who tried to break the guard's stance. The Royal Guard at Buckingham Palace is famous for their stoic expressions and immovable stances. However, in one particularly memorable incident, a tourist decided to test their resolve. Armed with a camera and an overzealous desire for a photo op, the result? The guard immediately shouted, "Step back," causing the tourist to jump and nearly lose their balance, much to the amusement of the surrounding crowd. The moral: never underestimate the authority of the British Royal Guard. 2. The man who tried to steal the guard's bearskin hat. During a public event in London, a daring man thought it would be funny to attempt to snatch the iconic bearskin hat worn by one of the royal guards. Unfortunately for him, he underestimated the guard's reaction speed and the protocol for defending such a highly symbolic uniform. Within seconds, the guard was on the offender, swiftly halting the theft and escorting him away. Not only did this tourist face public humiliation, but he also faced legal charges for attempting to interfere with a member of the armed forces. Moral of the story: don't mess with military regalia. 3. The tourist who got too close to the palace guard. In 2018, a tourist, perhaps a little too excited by the grandeur of the occasion, stepped too close to one of the royal guards at Buckingham Palace. The guard, rather than ignoring the trespass, raised his rifle and gave a firm "move back." The tourist, startled and now surrounded by security, learned quickly that there are very specific boundaries around the royal guard, and crossing them doesn't just earn you a scolding, it can also land you in trouble. 4. The woman who dared to joke around. During a ceremonial changing of the guards at the Palace of Westminster, a woman tried to break the ice with one of the guards by shouting, "Hey, why so serious?" The guard, completely unmoved, continued his silent patrol, but her attempt to create a light-hearted moment backfired when nearby officers approached and asked her to step away from the restricted area. The message here: don't mess with the stoic silence of the royal guard. 5. The unfortunate drunk who got too close. Drunk tourists are never a good combination with any form of military authority. One such inebriated individual decided it would be funny to stumble up to a royal guard during a public appearance. After attempting to engage in conversation and even waving his hands in front of the guard's face, the drunkard was swiftly removed by security. Though it seemed harmless at first, the potential for creating a scene around the royal family's most trusted guards is no laughing matter. 6. The man who tried to disrupt the changing of the guard. Every day at Buckingham Palace, thousands of tourists watch the famous changing of the guard ceremony, which is one of the most anticipated events in London. But one man decided to disrupt the entire event by stepping into the area where the guards were marching. He didn't anticipate the disciplined and swift reaction of the royal guard, who immediately stopped their formation and instructed him to step back. The man quickly found himself surrounded by police, his attempt at disrupting the ceremony backfiring spectacularly. 7. The teen who was chased for mocking the guard. Teens and social media often mix in unexpected and sometimes cringe-worthy ways. In 2019, a group of teens decided to film themselves mocking the guard by making exaggerated gestures and trying to provoke a reaction. But the guards, not ones to tolerate such antics, immediately advanced toward them, causing the teens to panic and flee. The scene caught the attention of police, who then gave the group a stern talking to. Their video, instead of going viral for the wrong reasons, was quickly removed from most platforms. 8. The American who tried to outpace the guard. In a truly bizarre episode, an American tourist at Buckingham Palace thought it would be fun to attempt to match the pace of the marching royal guard. Not only was the attempt futile considering the impeccable timing and discipline of the guard, but it led to the tourist getting too close to the guard's formation. Security swiftly intervened, and the man was escorted off the grounds. While the Americans certainly had a unique idea for a challenge, the royal guard wasn't playing along. 9. the woman who touched the guard's weapon. In another unforgettable instance, a tourist reached out and touched the ceremonial weapon of one of the guards. Though it may seem like an innocent gesture, touching the weapon of a soldier, even one on ceremonial duty, is a serious offense. The guard immediately responded by pushing her hand away and alerting nearby security officers. The woman, realizing her mistake, was swiftly escorted out, and a clear message was sent about the seriousness with which the Royal Guard takes their duties. 10. The kid who tripped the guard's march. In 2021, an energetic child decided to rush toward the guard in an attempt to get a selfie. The child, in his excitement, managed to trip over the guard's path just as he was marching, causing the formation to momentarily stagger. The child's parents, who were initially laughing, were soon embarrassed as the guard's commanding officer stepped in to address the situation. Though no harm was done, the family learned that messing with the Royal Guard, especially near ceremonial events, can be a serious risk. 11. The man who thought he could get a smile. There's an old saying, you can't make the Queen's Guard smile. Well, one tourist learned that the hard way. In an attempt to get a reaction, he tried everything from waving, jumping, and even making exaggerated faces. Unfortunately, the Royal Guard wasn't interested in humor. Instead, the guard's partner swiftly intervened, and the man was escorted away. The lesson? Not even a cheesy joke can break the Royal Guard's dedication. 12. The woman who tried to pet the horse. While not exactly a guard on foot, the mounted Royal Guard at Buckingham Palace is still part of the team that holds their ground against unwelcome antics. One tourist, mistaking the horse for a friendly animal, tried to pet it. The horse, however, did not appreciate the attention and reacted by shifting away sharply, sending the woman stumbling backward. The guard, now alert, warned the tourist to keep a safe distance. The encounter reminded everyone that even the animals under the guard's protection are not to be treated as toys. 13. The group who provoked the guard for a selfie. In 2017, a group of tourists in London decided to provoke a Royal Guard to get the perfect selfie. They stood in front of the guard and began taunting him, trying to make him laugh or move. In a matter of seconds, the Royal Guard signaled for security, and the group found themselves being escorted away from the area. Their quest for the perfect Instagram post turned into an embarrassing exit as they learned that some moments are better left undisturbed. 14. The person who challenged the guard to a duel. In one truly absurd incident, a man stood in front of a Royal Guard and dramatically challenged him to a duel. "I'll take you on," he shouted, brandishing a stick like it was a sword. The Royal Guard, unmoved by the challenge, simply responded, "Step away from the area." Before things could escalate further, police arrived and detained the individual. The strange episode served as a reminder that Royal Guards are not just for show, they're highly trained soldiers, not participants in amateur jousting tournaments. 15. The tourist who got too close at Windsor Castle. Windsor Castle, home to the British royal family, has its own set of Royal Guards. One curious tourist, too eager to get an up-close view, decided to get past the designated barriers. Ignoring warnings, the tourist ventured into a restricted area. Guards, who had been watching closely, quickly moved into position to prevent further intrusion, and the individual was escorted away. It was a lesson in respecting the boundaries set by security, especially when royalty is involved.